Jeffrey from the 57 Podcast. What's going on? Today is our first video, and I'm going to do I'm going to try and keep these starting out maybe under 5 minutes, just to give you guys some general information about maybe a specific topic or something that's going on. And we'll see how it goes, but it should be a lot of fun. And I'm planning on doing more and more of these as time goes on, kind of like a companion to the podcast in a way, because there's a lot that goes on that can't be covered in like one subject or maybe one podcast a week. So I'll be releasing these as time goes on. So this week I'm going to talk about the Gilroy Garlic Festival, and it's important because there's a couple things that I think that we can take away from this. The gunman was Santino William Ligon, and he was 19 years old. And 3 weeks ago, before the shooting, he purchased a gun in Nevada, and a person asked him why he was doing this, and he replied, "Because I'm really angry." And a report from CNN actually says the contrary, and they said that he was really calm. And that's one of the points that I want to make, that I think that the mainstream media likes to maybe cater to their base and to what they think people want to hear. Because on the Los Angeles Times, they're saying that he was really angry, and then on CNN they said that he was really, really calm. So I wonder how there could be two different narratives from two different sources. So that's something that I want everybody to take into consideration. I want you to, if you haven't, I want you to check out podcast 27 and podcast 30. Because I talk about being subjective when you watch the news and how the news caters to their base. So when you read something, maybe if you read that article, maybe try to read a couple articles from other sources, just to maybe try to get the whole picture. And speaking to the guy's family members, they said nobody anticipated him doing this. As a matter of fact, his brother went looking for him because he feared that he had been one of the victims when actually he was one of the shooters. So there's a few things to take into consideration here, and one of them is that stricter gun laws wouldn't have prevented this. California has some of the strictest gun laws in the nation, and this still happened. Number two, this person really wanted to do harm, and he took the necessary steps to do so. I think that's the most important fact here, because if he couldn't buy the gun in California, so he went to Nevada. And he got it. And if he couldn't buy it from Nevada, he would have went somewhere else to do something or grab something to do what he wanted to do. And number three, he cut through the fence to get into the festival. There was a rear fence, I believe, where security wasn't, because at the front they were checking people's purses and they were checking people's bags, and there was a metal detector to make sure that they're trying to do their due diligence, but they didn't think about somebody cutting through a fence in the back to get in, and it's really unfortunate. So he clearly premeditated his action and planned on what he was trying to do. So this guy was pretty motivated to do what he was doing. Now here's some of my final thoughts. The laws aren't going to save you. What will save you are your actions, though. When you get to an event or a festival, here's a couple things, but not limited to help you when things go sideways. One, before getting to an event like a concert, a festival, or a sporting event, establish a meetup location with the people that you're going with or the people that you're hanging out with. If you do this, if something does happen and things go sideways and you get separated from your party, you will be able to meet up later at a different location where you're like, okay, we got separated. Let's meet up at this restaurant or this bar or this hotel that's a couple, maybe a couple blocks away. So when you get there, everybody meets up, everybody's okay, hopefully, and you could take accountability of everybody that you were with at the event or the sporting event or whatever you were at. Learn basic first aid and stop the bleed. And the reason I say this is that basic med skills, I believe, are the basic things that we should all know, because if we could provide aid to ourselves or to anybody that we're with in case they get injured with something, it's important for us to be able to render aid to people, or to maybe to people that you don't know, that you can lend a helping hand. And there's a couple places that you can go. I would recommend to everybody to go to the Red Cross website. They offer training online where you can learn these skills, and I believe they have a Stop the Bleed class on there. And if you haven't listened to podcast 16, I had Mike Glover on the podcast, and his company Fieldcraft Survival, they take care of that as well. They provide training, and they provide the equipment for their training as well. So you could buy it there. You could buy med kits there, and they will supply you with that if you want to buy it. And also carry the basic number 3. Carry the basic med kit with you. I normally keep a med kit in my backpack that I have. I have a small one that I could use on myself or my kids. And there are other ones like at Fieldcraft Survival and North American Rescue, where you could buy kits that have a cat tourniquet in there in case you need to apply a tourniquet to yourself, or basic Stop the Bleed products in there. So that's what I've got for you today, guys. Something to take into consideration, something to think about, and hopefully, before you go to your next event, take these things, think about them, and establish a meetup point just in case something happens, and carry a tourniquet with you, or carry a basic Stop the Bleed or a first aid kit, at least so that you can render yourself some aid, so that you're not counting on the primary medical personnel like paramedics to show up and help you. You could help yourself, and then when they get there and they get to you, they can kind of take it to the next step if need be, or if you're good, they could just kind of polish it up a little bit, and then you can be on your way to the hospital or whatever you got to do. So there you go, guys. That's what I got for you today, and I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you guys next week. This is Pre out.